Welcome to Armchair Pundits. I'm your host James, and today we have Leon and Lenny. Today's topic has been based on the Champions League final and our view on how it went. So who's going to go first?
Well, is there much more you can say about what a sensational performance Barcelona put on Saturday? It was an absolute vintage performance. Couldn't really ask for a better performance from one team in a final. To have all that pressure on them, they went into this game the favourites against a team who have been underestimated all season, Man U, in terms of everyone saying that they have the same quality and that sort of thing. They absolutely tore Man U to pieces. It could have been more than 3-1, and you have to say Messi absolutely lived up to all the hype, all the expectations. You can see the weight lifted on his shoulders. The celebration was crazy, and the team. You can't ask for more. All three of their strikers scored a goal as well.
98 goals between the three of them.
Ridiculous. Xavi and Iniesta combining all over the place. It was a great performance.
You managed to get behind them too many times. Like Man United, like you said, maybe they didn't set it out right, but you have to think about it. Last time they played three midfielders and they got hiding. This time they played for me. But I think this one is worse than the last one. Some people say the last one was worse than this one, but
people might say the last one was worse just because they had a better, a much more talented team at the time.
With Barcelona or
Man United.
Yeah, they did. Well, it's minus Ronaldo. That's it.
But that's a big difference.
Yeah, it is. But then Ronaldo was in like Real Madrid's team, and look what happened to them to a certain extent. You could say that. But yeah, Barcelona got behind Man United way too many times. It's like they showed it. There was a clip they showed that Xavi and Iniesta was behind Carrick and Giggs for the goal that Pedro scored. They was both ahead of them. So you have to think like you can't defend it. You have to defend like basically one backing up each other. You can't both press like that.
Well, neither of them are natural defensive midfielders. So unless you're
Carrick is a deep lying midfielder.
No, but the problem they have is when they won the last Champions League, I'm correct in that they had Hargreaves in that squad. So they had a defensive midfielder. They had a defensive midfielder, and they haven't replaced him. They've been waiting for him to get better for how many years, trying to play Carrick, trying to play Scholes, Fletcher.
But the thing
Fletcher's the closest one they have to it.
Yeah,
even Fletcher, he's not really
he's not a DM.
sitting guy.
The thing is, if you play Carrick is not. You have to play someone like Carrick doesn't go forward or like. Do you understand? He's like a Xabi Alonso. He sits there and passes the ball.
Yeah, but Xabi Alonso and Mascherano played together for how long? And at the end of the day, it can be done.
You can, but nobody's gonna push on like out of the two of them. Carrick's not gonna push on if you play with Hargreaves. Do you understand?
Then you play one up front. You play one up front, and then you put in someone else in behind.
I personally think that Alex Ferguson compromised his shape to fit Giggs into that team or to fit Hernandez into that team. Whichever one you want to pick, one of those two had to come out to play Barcelona in particular. Yeah. Both of them have been on form, and that's why.
Should have played.
No, that's what I'm saying. Both of them were on form.
I understand why Hernandez.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Both of them, for me, were in. Giggs has been in form whenever he's played this season. And against Schalke, he was awesome. But what I'm saying is, one of them had to be sacrificed for it to have worked against Barcelona because they just didn't have the man in the midfield to deal with them.
Do you know what? I don't think it was them. I think maybe instead of playing Park or Valencia, they should have played Nani because Nani would have gone at their defence even more than anyone. He would have held up possession more than anyone. Like the way Messi holds possession, Nani can do that.
Exactly. That's
why he can hold possession. Like Valencia, he can run with the ball, but he cannot hold possession. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He can get.
Yeah.
But
they wanted someone that was. Remember, Barcelona don't just have. Yeah. They have fullbacks that ended up being wingers because they're always attacking. So he knew that Nani wasn't going to track back.
Do you understand? Like you have to do that. You have to play Nani. He came on. He took on Abidal in the first 30 seconds. He took him on. But then
he didn't take him. He didn't get a chance to take him on again after that because they closed it out.
But that's because I think Fergie made mistakes in his lineup.
The first thing he did when he came on was when Messi just ripped him apart down the way.
But at the same time, I thought it was his fault at first, but I've looked at it again, and it wasn't his fault. The ball got passed to him at such a height that he had to put his leg in all position, and he bounces off.
Nani got beat near the halfway line. Look how he got beat.
No, it was more towards the box, but come on, Messi beat him.
Yeah.
He's not a defender, so of course Messi's gonna beat him in a one-on-one
stand. It's not even if he beats him, you could have recovered. Look how far away he was from the goal. Do you understand?
But at the end of the day, that was a possession where the back four should have been intact. Right. So where was Evra in that situation? Same with the first goal. For some reason, if Evra stayed out wide, Messi was running through the centre. Vidic and Ferdinand was still
No,
there.
the problem was,
And
I could see what happened was that Xavi broke through the midfield, and no one wanted to go and put any pressure on him. So everyone made that decision too late because Rio and Vidic never went. They weren't moving. So someone had to go and close Xavi down. Soon as everyone moved, yes, it created the space for Pedro.
Pedro came inside first, and then he checked back out.
Yes,
that's the thing.
He moved. He changed direction. Yes, you can say
if he stayed there,
but someone else didn't do their job.
Yeah, but he has to.
Somebody else didn't do their job.
He has to go with Pedro then. It's because
he didn't go with Pedro. As I'm saying, he didn't go with Pedro.
He did go, but Pedro checked. So that's why he came back out.
He went to close down Xavi.
Because no one else did it.
Oh, but if Xavi scores from 25, 30 yards, cool. But don't let man running behind you and then have a free shot on goal, which is what happened.
It wasn't really behind him though, was it? It's to the side, do you understand?
Bro, in the day, he went in behind him. That's what it was. He couldn't see where he was.
He's gone to get the thing, to stop the challenge. But like we said, Barcelona completely outplayed them. You thought Man United, as soon as they scored in the first 5 minutes.
It looked like it was going to be an epic. It really did. It was shaping up for classic, good. About time we've had a final like this.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, they got composed. They started to play the
It came out second half.
1-2s.
Barcelona came out in the second half the way Man United came out in the first half.
Yeah.
It came out really, really like...
Man U were under pressure for about 10 minutes for the first part of the second half.
Yeah.
Pressure was just relentless.
They couldn't get the ball. Like they didn't have an outlet. They didn't have nobody that wanted the ball. That's what happens when you're like that. Nobody wants to touch the ball. It's like.
But again, that's why I still think Ferguson made a big error because Man United had to find a way either to counter attack, and if the counter attack wasn't working, find someone to keep the ball.
Yeah.
If you had Berbatov on the pitch, and at the same time you have two people that can actually keep the ball, that can find little passes. And then not only that, he only made 2 subs. He didn't even use his full quarter.
For me, that told me that at the end he didn't believe that his team were going to win.
When they were 3-1 down, there was.
You could see.
You can see. You got to do something. It's the final. You got to do something.
But James, you could see at the end of the game the resignation on it. It was wonderful to see. I have to say. But Alex Ferguson he just knew they were not winning that game. At that point, he knew they were not. As much as Man U has done the most miraculous comebacks in the history of football, he knew it was not happening. They knew he was beat.
He gave us a hiding. That's what
he was beat.
I understand.
Sometimes it happens.
But at the same time,
you do understand what he said.
But you still have to bring someone. It's the final.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Before.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Did it against Bayern Munich. Everyone thought the game was done. But you make the subs. You never know what can happen. Someone can trip someone up in the box, penalty. Someone can trip someone edge of the box, free kick, and it's free.
Sheringham,
that can happen in 3 minutes.
York, Cole, Solskjaer.
But the point I'm making is, all it takes is 2 fouls, and it's 3-3. So you bring on your third. 2 chances. Oh, and he said he thought we can nick a goal. Then bring him on. If it comes 3-2, then Barcelona can get shaky, get some crosses in.
I don't believe he felt he had the personnel to change it. If you are 3-1 down and with half an hour to go or whatever it was, however long it was, long enough. I don't know how long it was exactly. But if you have a sub to make and you don't make it, that's telling me that you think you do not have the people to change the game. That's what it says.
Even then you think that the people on the pitch are good enough to change the game. That's how you feel. That's the other
that the guys on the bench aren't good enough to do that. Whatever way you look at it, yes, I totally understand it's a final, but at the end of the day, you got to look at it. He didn't believe he was going to win. He felt the game was up. Barcelona had absolutely
destroyed them.
It was an abomination. They took them apart.
He said we got a hiding anyway. That's what he said in the press.
It was deserved. Barcelona played the best football by far over any team in the whole of the world this year. So, end of the day, justice prevailed in terms of football.
The best team doesn't always win, but thankfully
this time it did. It really did this time. They deserved to win it. No one else.
Okay, cool. Well, I'd like to thank Leon and Lenny for coming today. It's been a good show. I'd like to thank you guys once again for watching. Keep watching every week. It's going to get better and better. This has been Armchair Pundits. I'm your host, James. See you again soon.